Hello, this is Bernade Flanoy. I'm in the studio getting ready to go live. Me and Bob, you know we're right here. We have our painting ready. Okay, here's Bob. We have our painting ready to go. Let me show you. We've got it printed out, and I'll show you exactly how to tape it down to the graphite and all that and get that going. So we've got about 2 minutes. You could pop into the chat. Let me get over here. You could pop into the chat if you've got questions. I've just got my notifications that we are officially live, and that's good. I'm going to go ahead and share out and invite myself. But yeah, welcome, 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 welcome. Let me refresh over here. And we might hear a little bit of a quick video. Let me refresh this. Is this going to go? All right. So I'm trying to see if it's showing me live. Hold on. I'm going to go to my YouTube homepage. Let's see. Is that going to pop on? Yep. All right. So we are officially live. I am getting the link to share. Let me keep an eye because I know this countdown timer is for real. All right. Let me move this over here so I can see how much time we have. I'm going to pop into Facebook and post it in a couple of places so that people know that I am live. Let me pop onto my page. Oh, I am live. Pop on and say hey. All right, let me enter next and Control V. All right. Let's see. I'm going to share it to my 2 pages. And then I'm going to post in the group. I've got about 40 seconds left, which is great. Which is great, great, great. I hope you're doing well. And to the replay viewers, you know how to get past all of this shenanigans by simply fast forwarding or double timing. You know how to advance through this. All right, Control V. I am live. I am live. Pop on and say, hey. All right. I think is it starting over? All right. I hit the button. Hi there. This is Bernade Flanoy. Welcome to my studio. I am excited to paint with you today. And once again, for the replay viewers, you know how to fast forward, double time, and skip past all of this stuff to get on down to the painting. Let me look at you. All right. I'm trying to get these lights a little bit better. I think the light feels right and good in here. Hopefully when we get ready to do our paint cam, it is ready. I am going to invite myself. This would be you. Okay. I'm letting you know one day I want you to come and join me in this studio. But right now, this is my paint cam. And so I'm going to invite myself into the studio. I don't know what you want to create with today, your crayons, watercolors. I'm going to use the craft acrylic paints. But come and join me. Get your stuff. And we're going to keep it simple. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I wish I could put on some great music for you. You know what? Let me see if I can do that. I don't know if it will. I don't know if they're going to cut it off. You know, sometimes, you know, even though I'm licensed to use this music, sometimes, you know, we still get a notification. So I'm going to play it. All right. And let me just stop all of this foolishness right now, because I normally invite myself before I go live. And right now, for whatever reason, I can't see how to invite myself into this studio. So I don't know how I'm going to get this paint cam up in here. Good gracious of life. Now, let me see if I can pop out. Okay, I think we've got it figured out now. Oh boy, it took a moment. Now, this is an ice cream cone that we painted last year. I do believe that's still available in our summer download folder, the paintedpost.com/download. I still have lots of goodies in there. So that's from last year. So what's on the screen now is what we're painting this year. And so I had to find my invite button. I just had my window down a little bit lower than what it should be, so I couldn't find it. So it wasn't a technical issue. Is user error. Okay. But we're right here. So let me show you. If I send you an invitation to join me in the studio, this is what it would look like. Okay. You see, join me in StreamYard. So let me click on that. All right. And here is your link to join me in here for this particular video. So now this is what it looks like after you click. It's taking a moment. It's going to tell you to enter the studio. All right. Now, after you click that, you want to make sure you put your name. I've got this as my paint cam video, right? And then we can enter the studio. But before I do that, I need to plug in the headphones so that it does not reverberate. Okay. All right. So now that that's plugged in, we can go ahead and hit enter. And I'm in there. All right. So we're going to invite it to the stage. I don't want to make you dizzy. So I want to make sure it's going the right way first. Let me make sure. I don't want to make you dizzy. Let's see. So if we do it that way, and then it's aiming down the correct way. All right. So now that's how we do that. All right. It just takes a little extra finagling. And last week, our paint cam was, had an attitude. We're just going to say it like that. But this week, let's hope it works out. And what I need to do is another video, because I did find another tripod that actually has a light on it. So we're going to check that out. So this is what we're painting today. But basically, this is a circle and a triangle. So even if you don't have this exact printout, you can still rock and roll. Now, let's see. I tried to change these configurations a little bit. Okay, so it's paint cam time. Let's make sure we add the paint cam to the stage. All right. Let's see if that works out better. The presentation is still. Let me mute these. Let me mute that. The presentation side is still bigger than what I want over here. Let's see if I can adjust it. Okay, we're in here trying to do some things. Okay, so this is still here. Let me click. Can I make these bigger? Please let me make these bigger. Nope, it won't cooperate, y'all. I don't know why. Okay, is it just gonna, can I switch them out? I did write into the help desk, so I could get me a little bit of help. They did give me a couple of videos to look at, and that's what I did. So it's better. Let me click save, but not the best. Let me just cancel that. Let me discard any changes because it's still the same. All right, so we do have the visual a little bit larger than the previous broadcast, which is better. And I'm just going to aim you down right here so that we can go ahead and get started. Yep, it's about a quarter after. Let me make sure everybody sees Bob. Bob is here. All right, in case you didn't see Bob before. And once again, let me just introduce myself. I don't think I did. This is Bernaid Flournoy, art teacher by day, portrait painter by night, and paint party event instructor whenever you call me. Okay. And like I said, tell your boss, you know, tell your DEI, your SEL, your HR, your PR department, come on and hire me out so that you guys can have a painting good time. All right. Because I try to make it easy and simple, put all the things down on the, what is that, lower shelf for the beginner so you can still have a good time. All right. So let's go ahead and get our canvas ready. All right. So we have just a regular stretched 8x10 canvas. You can, of course, use canvas board. Let me go ahead and aim you back down here. Let me bring you in a little bit closer. All right. Because at this point, it's all about what's about to happen on this painting. All right. Let me make sure this is still in the frame. All right. I think we're good. I think our paint cam is happy. Let's hope. All right, let's move this up right here. And this is our design that we're going to transfer right quick. And once again, even if you don't have a particular design, I do have some available. If you go to thepaintedpose.com/download, I think this one is still in there from last year. You can go back and find the video. When I become sophisticated, I'll try to add the video links from previous paintings on there. So let me cut this down. This is a little bit larger. I don't know if you could see that light coming from behind there. I could tape that down, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to trim it down just a little bit. All right. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So then I can tape, excuse me, I have to sneeze here. Of course, we're live. So I could tape this down right quick. All right. And like I said, I peel off some of this stuff so I can just move quickly at an event. So I want to make sure we're pretty much centered. Let me move this over. And I'm just looking to the left and to the right. I am going to move this down just a little bit to allow for that shadow to be down here. Just need just a little bit more room up there, not a lot. Now, if you wanted to put a cherry up there, you might want to shrink the design just a little bit. You have, you've got some control over that. All right. So let me go ahead and tape this down. All right. You just want to rub that in. This is just painter's tape. It's removable, real easy. All right, and my graphite paper is here. All right. The shiny side, that's the graphite. Okay. The dull side, that's the tracing paper. So it's like mayonnaise spread all over a piece of bread. So the graphite is there. So you always want to put your design in place first, and then carefully put your graphite paper there because you don't want to smudge it all around. All right. So you can grab a pencil. Sometimes I'll just grab a brush, whatever's close sometimes. And then I'm just going to go along the edges here. Because like I said, this is basically a circle. You don't need all of these little details. I might do a little bit with the waffle cone down here, but I promise you, I am not going to get that detailed. All right, so I am coming up over here and I'm just throwing that in there because that is going to help us with the shadow. So let's see if you can see the design. All right, it's coming in there quickly. Let's see, what else do I want to add? I think I missed this part here where the cone is right here. All right. And so I've got this little divot here. That's really all I need. Okay. So what I might do is just go ahead and add a couple of these lines right here just to give me a guideline. I like the way these are curving. All right. And then the little shadow right here. And this is the ground line. I like the table line. So it looks like it might be standing. So I'm okay. We've got this. Let me fold up my graphite paper. I like to keep the mayonnaise inside of the bread so that, you know, we keep everything neat. So I'm just going to peel this off. And I'm just going to fold this over because I might decide that I might want a whole series of these. Right now, my reference is green, but you could make the ice cream any color, any flavor. And I'm trying to think, can I put my hands, while I grab me a tissue, I could put my hands on the oven. Okay, here they are. Here's some more of the shoots from last year that I painted. All right, these are wooden cutes, and I like to bring a variety of, you know, maybe seasonal items to a paint party. And these are just adorable. If you're having a mixer where you don't need a long session, this is a very, very short uh, painting. Okay, these probably will take you less than a half an hour if you really just want people to just kind of meet and greet and, you know, have a little painting good time. So now the canvas takes a little bit longer because you have more area to paint. All right. So now let's see. We need some water. All right. We've got our brushes out here, and we may need to you know what? We didn't add any black paint out here from before, so we need to grab some of that. Now, this is my haul left from working at the Boys and Girls Club this summer. I really like having the paint contained in the paint pots because I don't like to waste and throw away paint. So if you have an opportunity, yes, you can very easily put the paint on a plate or in some kind of palette container. But if you don't use all that paint, you can still save it. All right, let me put these over here because these are just fun and delicious. All right, now you remember, you know, I always like to have a little glitter. I think you can see that very easily here. Isn't that delicious? All right, and that's that. Let me show you again. This is that Craft Smart. It's called Crystal, and it's glitter acrylic paint that I just absolutely love because it's not over the top, but it's like a little pearl earring on a lady. All right, gives you a little bit of zhuzh. Okay, so we're centered. We are ready to rock and roll. Is this the one that's fresh? Let's see. Ah, let's see if there's anything in here. Okay, so we do have a little bit of the black. That's all I need from this one. Okay, let me make sure my hands are cool. And I said I was reaching for the water that I didn't get. All right. So hopefully you've got everything and you're ready to rock and roll as well. I'm going to put this one away because I really don't need that. This size is like a 1/2 inch, and this is perfectly wonderful for the 8x10. Could you go with something a little bit larger? You could, but this 1/2 inch for this canvas to be able to get into the paint pots, this is perfect, okay? And then, of course, we have our 1/4 inch little workhorse, and then this is, I want to say, a number 0 or number 1 round brush. Now, this has been used a lot, so this one really doesn't come to a nice point anymore. So you might want to have a nice steady supply. Now, I don't know why. I just want to paint this ice cream pink. I bet you this is still that white that's dried out, isn't it? Now we know this black was dried out. Let's go ahead and open up our blue and our yellow. We can go ahead and paint this green, even though I still want a little pink. I don't know why though. Okay, so we've got all of this open. Let me move my little watermelon away from here. Matter of fact, let me get all of my little cute wooden cubes out of the way. I just have to show them again because they are just so adorable. To throw this into a little clear cellophane bag with some paint pods and a little brush, you talking about making people happy? Oh, all right. So now we are ready to rock and roll. I'm trying to look and see. All right, we got a couple of floaties in there. So I've got my paint over here. We're ready. Okay. What color do I want the background? That's still that nice blue. We could stick with that. Just going to go on and wet this back here just a little bit, just to add a little bit of water. Let me move this over here. I want to make sure there are no crazy shadows here. I want to make sure our lighting is good. All right, it looks like it's okay. All right, we still need a little bit of white. Let me see if we have any in here. Okay, there's a little bit. We're going to squeeze some back up in here. And because I know I'm just going to have a little bit out here, I'm just going to dot that around over there because the bright blue is very strong, very vivid. I'm just dotting this around over here. You'll see it is very, very strong. So we're just kind of mixing this while we have it right here on the canvas. And we're just going to outline our little ice cream cone. I'm going to go back over this line again. And maybe for the sake of time, I'm going to get just a little bit of water to help just kind of smooth it out a little bit, spread it faster. I like to go right along that edge and pull away. There's still a lot of paint right here, so I'm using that. I'm kind of like dipping back in that, and I'm trying to push that into the fabric along the edge. Because this is canvas, and even on canvas board, it still has that texture that you have to deal with. I'm going to get just a smidge of water right here, because there's still a lot of paint right here. And I'm just kind of going right along that edge right here. And remember, I was, some people don't know where to start sometimes. Do I start with the background? Do I start with the subject? And you kind of do a little bit of both. So right now I am going right on in the background, because sometimes you don't know what color you want to paint the background until you've actually painted the subject. But, we're going to go ahead with this sky blue. This might be a little bit lighter than our reference picture. That's okay. You can change and alter as you'd like. Matter of fact, I'm going in here and get a little bit more white. I'm going right back along these edges over here. And sometimes with the studio lights, I can't tell what anything looks like until it is dry. Then I see I've missed some spots. I'm coming right on up in here. All right, so we are sliding this right on over to the edge. All right, while you have that paint out, you do want to go ahead and paint that edge. And it doesn't have to be super dark or anything. You just want to make sure that while you have the paint, and it doesn't take that much longer, you go ahead and finish those edges. Okay. Just makes the project a little more complete. So let me try not to hit my camera. I'm just going to dot a little bit along this edge right here. I'm going to grab a little bit more of this blue. Uh-oh, I think I kind of contaminated my blue with a little white. But the blue is strong, so it's okay. I'm hoping that I'm covering these edges. Let me see. Let me get just a smidge more blue. All right. Okay. All right. Now, in some of these areas, you might need a second coat, and that's okay. So I'm going to go back over here, get a little bit more white. Spread that down. Get another little corner of that blue, and just finish that part off. Like I said, it just takes a couple of extra minutes, and it is so worth it, I feel, in the end, because it just makes your painting look more professional and more finished. Okay, so we'll finish this part down here. So now this is that part where, like I said, I go back and forth. All right, so I think I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll come back in and we'll work that area a little bit more. So while I've got a little bit of this blue right here, I'm going to go in here and get just a little bit of this green, a little bit more of this white. You see how quickly that can start to happen? A little bit more of this yellow. Let me get, and I'm wiping my brush off literally on the canvas. All right, so here we go. So I see we need to go a little bit darker. Okay, in some of these little areas right here. And I need a little bit more yellow. Might have to get some more out. So let me go along this edge here. So the color may not be exact, but that's okay. Okay, so we're going to go and get a little bit of white for this area right here. That white kind of neutralizes it and makes it light at the same time right here. So this is a really light area. I'm going to get a little bit more white right here. This is a fast painting. I like it. So we're just going to blend this so it's kind of round a little bit. Okay. All right. So it's slowly but surely shaping up. Let me take these glasses off a little bit so I can see. Okay. So we're going to keep moving back in this area. All right. So we're just kind of building that up. Let me get just a little corner of black. Whoop! That's a little strong, y'all. Let me go in here with a little bit of blue. Ooh, that might be a little bit very, very strong. That's okay. We'll get it. All right, so this is very strong. So I'm going to add just a little bit while I have this over here on my brush. And I'm looking back at our reference. So I'm going in just kind of touching up some of the areas where I want it to be a little bit dark. And that's okay. Now I'm going to just wet my brush just a little bit. I'm going to wipe most of that out. So now I'm going to come back in here with a little bit of yellow. Okay. All right. So it's kind of building that three-dimensional volume up uh, a little bit, real fast, real fast. I still have some of that black in my brush. Oh, mercy. They're getting started with the music over here. I just really don't want to hear it right now. Okay. So now that's kind of building up. That's kind of feeling three-dimensional a little bit. Let me clean my brush out. Let me just clean that out. I soak it in that water so I can try to keep my water as clean and fresh. And I just kind of try to make my paper towel dirty. And I reuse it. After a while, it stops being absorbent. So then you just flip it over and I'll kind of stack it up a little bit. All right. So now I think I want this to dry a little bit. This is kind of feeling a little bit artsy fartsy, which is fun and fine. What I might do is just kind of come on down to the cone. I'm just going to spread this white out a little bit. And this is kind of like a light gray down here. I'm just going to go ahead and spread this white out down here as well. And I probably, while I had some of that black in my brush, I probably should have used a little bit of it. That's okay. We can go grab another little smidge. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, we're just going to go right here because we just can't help it. That's that dark shadow right here. Okay, that's all right. We'll keep building with that. And I need a little bit of brown. We could make it, but I've got a little bit right here, so we can go ahead. Let me add a little bit of a little corner of blue to this over here. Not a lot. Okay. All right, so we've got this. It's kind of like a little bit of a blue-gray thing going on down here. I'm going to have to work on my shadow, but I'm okay with how this is shaping up. All right, so we're just adding a little bit of color in so that this is just not pure white right here. Just a little blue-gray. All right, so I'm going to go back in here and get a little bit more white in this area right here. And it's mixing in with the color that's still there, which is wonderful. All right, so we're being careful going around our cone right here. And I'm bringing this right on over to the side. Okay. So we're just going to smooth this over right here. I'm going to bring that down because that's on that side back there. And I might need another little corner of white right here. Because that's not really where the shadow is. It really is strong right here on this corner. Okay, so we're going to keep it moving. I hope it's feeling a little bit three-dimensional. Because I'm just painting. I'm not really looking in the mirror, so to speak. And the mirror is so helpful. Kind of gives you fresh eyes to see what you're actually doing. Kind of removes the closeness because you're so close while you're working. And you get like hemmed up in one area, you don't see the hole. The mirror kind of helps you see the hole. Okay, so let me get a little bit of this brown. And you only need like a little small corner, just a dot. I'm going to put it right here. Okay, just a, when I tell you just like a little dot, you see that right there? That's probably more than enough. And it's like a little green pea. All right, not a whole lot. This is more than enough because we're going to need more white. And let me squeeze out some more white in here so that we have that there. And I'm just going to squeeze out just a little bit right here. And if we need any more, of course, it's in the paint pot. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to add some right here. I'm going to get my brush is just a little bit dry. So I don't want it dripping, but I need it to release this paint. I'm going to get just a smidge. Okay, just in, look, like I said, that was more than enough. I'm just going to go right on in here. And our gray with the black is no longer mixable, so we're going to need a little bit more black to neutralize it because this is really, really warm now, but it's okay. All right. Now you don't have to do all the texture stuff. You can if you want to. I'm going to get a little bit more brown over here on this side over here. I'll come up over here. And we may have to go back and forth on this edge a little bit. But I'm okay with this right here. This is cool. This is happening. So I'm going to go get just a little bit more brown because we want this to feel like that cone is really three-dimensional, all right? And I just dabble over in it. We're not going to get too intense here. We very well could overdo it, but we're not. So we're going to add a little bit more brown over here to make it feel a little bit more three-dimensional. Okay, like I said, we're keeping this super simple and we're going to keep it moving. All right, I'm just going to throw a few little lines up in here just because. And we don't even have to blend. All right, this is down near the bottom, so I need to add a little bit more darkness down here. Let me get a smaller brush. So I like to make sure my brush is good and wet, dry it out so it's not dripping, and then add the paint on the tip. Okay, so this is what we're doing right here, and I need probably a little bit more black. But this is still wet too, so I need to let this dry. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of these marks up in here. And it's still blending because it's wet. Okay, so this is shaping up nicely. Okay, let me clean that out. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and clean this out again as well. Okay, so now I think the main part is dry. All right, so that is feeling like I can reach in and pick it up a little bit. And like, see, this is super simple. Let me come back over here to you, to this main camera for just a moment. Let me remove that out of there for just a moment. Did I hit remove? Okay, let me come over here. So this is how it's shaping up. All right, it's very simple. I'm going to come back in with another coat to kind of smooth it. And I keep, oh boy, I'm so sorry about these lights, man. It's going to get better. And it's warm up in here too. But let me look at you. All right. There we go. This is more of the actual color. All right. So let me add this back. Let me make sure I have the correct layout. Looking for my paint cam. There we go. So this here is shaping up. It's starting to feel three-dimensional. Now, of course, you can add, now that's more of like a watercolor effect in the background that you can really get there and have a good time with that. But for our purposes today, we just really want to keep a super simple ice cream that is easy for everybody to paint. So let's go ahead and add another coat here. All right, we're going to add another coat of green up in here. Let me add a little bit of white. Let me shake this up. Because when your paint sits and sits and sits, it starts to separate like Italian dressing. That oil and water separates after a while. Okay, so good. We've got plenty of yellow in there. And let me go ahead and throw a little magenta in there while we are doing our thing. Well, this says Diva Pink. Well, any rich fuchsia, deep pink will give you a good purple. Let's see. Are we going to get this in here while we're on air? No, we're not. So we're going to leave that alone. So I've got a little bit pop of white right here. I'm going to come back in here with a little bit of yellow. I'm going to come back with a little bit of white. Come back in with a little bit of yellow. So this is really good and wet right here. So now I'm going to go with a little corner of blue. Come back around here slowly. And I'm mixing it right on the canvas. Because I didn't want to make it too dark. But we also don't want to lose what we've already kind of built up over here. So I'm coming back with another brush right here. Just with a little bit of water just to kind of blend this in, almost like I'm drawing a little bit. Let me get a little bit of this. This would be great right now if I had a little bit of little Q-tip. All right, so that is kind of blending in. Let me come along this edge right here because I see a little bit of white canvas. Like I said, this is where you kind of go back and forth on the subject to the background. Okay. So we're making this a little bit bigger. It's asking for it, so we're giving more over here right now. And I probably should mix me up a nice batch of that green right here, so I don't have to keep going back and forth making a huge, huge mess. Trying to see if you see me mixing this up. All right, so here we go. need a little bit more white. This is that fun part for me because some of this is going to be kind of like a seafoam green, and then some of it is going to be a little bit more yellow. But I don't want to labor on it too much. I just want to kind of play around with it just a little bit. And I need a little bit of that black. But we keep getting too much. Let me get a little bit more blue. Okay, so let me come on up in here just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. All right, so we're blending this out just a little bit right here. This is fun to me. This is fun. This is exciting for me to just kind of keep blending and working it in this way. But I know it's not necessarily the most fun to watch. So we're going to wrap this up sooner rather than later. All right, so we've got a little bit of this over here, and we need just a smidge right here where it looks like it's dripping a little bit. All right, so we are working quickly to just kind of fill this in. I need just a smidge of water, just a smidge. Now that's too much. Okay. All right, so we're going back and forth over here. I need some more real green right here because I'm seeing some of that white canvas. Now, once again, you can go right back and outline all of this with a little bit of a black Sharpie if you feel that you need to do that. And in some areas, that's cool to do. All right, I'm okay with this. We're going to keep this simple. We're going to keep it moving. A real fast, short, quick painting. I need just a little touch of white right up here. Right, because that is closest to the light. All right, let me see what it looks like. Okay, I still need a little bit. Still a little bit right here. Just very little back here. All right, just to kind of give it a little bit more of that shine right there. All right, just a smidge right here. And I'm okay. I'm happy. All right, I could get a little bit more black and go up underneath there, but we're not going to do that. We're gonna say that we have brought this painting to completion and we are happy. Okay. Let's see which view we have. All right. That's good enough. And then, like I said, after it dries, you can go back and put a coat of glitter on, and maybe I will do that later. Sometimes I have to let it dry to see what more I want to add. I really didn't get in there and mess with that waffle cone too much. That was not of interest. Let me turn this off, see if that light makes it. It's still kind of wonky for whatever reason. I don't know why. But here we go. Let's go ahead and get back to this view right here. All right, so this is it for us for right now. I don't know if I can add the presenter to the screen in a way that makes sense. We can mess around with it. I don't know. How about this? How about these right here? It still won't let me do that presenter right there. All right, so here we go, I guess. We have this as big as we can get it. I'm going to edit this right here, right now on the spot. Oh, it won't let me go any larger though. That is banana beans. Okay. They won't let me make this bigger. That is banana beans right here, y'all. All right. Well, we've tried it. We're going to save that. Save as new layout. There we go. All right. Now the color probably could be a little bit brighter. You can buy some of the pre-made colors in the store that are, of course, more intense and brighter. But when you're mixing it, as I say, pulling it out of the dirt, that's okay too. But if you feel, and I don't know why I keep getting all those lines and ridges. Probably could work on this. I would say I would like to maybe spend like another hour on this, but I'm not. I'm happy with it right now. The only thing I'm going to probably do is go in here and add maybe a little bit of a black scruffy outline. But this is it for right now. I want to thank you for joining me. I am going to remove that from the from the stage, and I'm going to come right over here full screen. This is Brenae Flournoy, art teacher by day, portrait painter by night. We can get in here and add some more details. And I'm going to say professional artist talk. This would be a great first hour. And you might want to come back and work 2 more hours to really get more detailed. But for right now, for me, I've said all I wanted to say. Okay, so sometimes you just get to that point where I've always wanted to paint this one. It's painted now, and I got that out of my shanana. On to the next. All right. Peace to you. Have an amazing rest of your day. And we're going to get this outro going right here. And I want you to enjoy yourself. All right. Peace to you. Have an amazing rest of your week. Enjoy summer. Feel sweet. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining me.